What's up, my homies? How's everyone doing? Today I want to teach you guys how to get your first push-up. It's simple, it just requires a little bit of hard work, and I'm going to give you the rest of the knowledge that you're going to need to accomplish this task. Stay tuned. First of all, guys, let's identify what a push-up actually is, okay? So a push-up actually starts in what we call a plank position, where your body's in this nice straight line, or you could even do a more aggressive plank where you're arching your back almost like an angry kitty cat. All right, your arms need to be straight. I like placing my hands directly below my shoulders. From this position, you need to lower your body, hinging, I guess you would be hinging at your toes and bending mainly at the elbow to lower your body down to the ground. Now, does your body actually have to touch the ground? I don't think necessarily. As long as you're maintaining your solid plank, really that's the most important thing. So once you get down to the ground or slightly above, you then come back up by pushing into the floor as hard as you can and without breaking your plank. If you break your plank, you're just not strong enough yet to do a push-up. All right, but I'm going to teach you how to get past that stumbling block there. So now that we know what a push-up looks like and what we're looking for when we want to accomplish this movement, we can then progress to that end product, okay? But we need to start somewhere. Where you start is going to be totally dependent on your body weight, your age, possibly your sex. It's just a little bit easier for guys. It's not fair, I know, etc. Okay, so the first thing you need to be able to do is a wall push-up. This is the very first progression. All right, wall push-ups is where I've had a lot of my clients start, guys and girls, okay? They just need to be aware of their body. All right, this is the main part of the wall push-up. They're not gonna get that much stronger here. It's just gonna be like, hey, I need to figure out how to move my body because I'm not used to moving it. All right, so this progression kind of wakes the person up and let them know, hey, this is kind of the general range of motion that a push-up requires. And then from there, we go to progression number 2. Okay, progression number 2 is going to be an incline push-up. All right, so technically a wall push-up is an incline push-up, but now we're trying to get your body closer to the ground. All right, so I would recommend starting on something high, maybe like a countertop. I'll show myself doing it on the hot tub out on the back patio. And then the goal is to be able to progress lower and lower and lower into your incline push-up. So let's say I start on something high, like a countertop, all right? And then as I get better at my push-ups, I might finish on something like a chair, all right? And I'll show that as well. Progression number 3 would be doing a push-up from your knees. Some people call this a girl push-up, but I think that's baloney because I've seen girls fly past this and I've seen a lot of guys struggle with this. So you bend at the knee, so all your weight is on your knees, all right, and your hands. That's it. Nothing else is touching the ground. When you go down, you got to maintain that plank just like on a regular push-up. Keep your elbows in. And when you get down to the floor, make sure not to give up on your plank. If you do, then again, we need to go back to some kind of incline push-up because you're just not ready yet in your core or your arm strength to be able to maintain that plank on the way down or the way up. People can get huge strength gains from doing this as long as they're not doing the beached whale, which I'll put right here. Don't do the beached whale, guys. It's not doing anything for you. You look terrible. Progression number 4 is what I call a negative, all right? Negatives are a great way to train for strength, especially body weight strength. You see some negatives in some weight training, but the best way to utilize negatives is with your own body weight. And if you guys don't get the idea, this channel's centralized on body weight movements because we're trying to get fit at home and most people don't have a lot of extra equipment. but that's for another topic. So the negative push-up is where you do the first half of the movement where you're in this nice perfect plank and you're lowering yourself down, keeping your feet together, keeping your quads tight, your core engaged, your elbows close to your body, not letting them flare out like a chicken. Okay, you get down to the floor and then you push up with all your might and it's just not happening. Okay, so from that point, don't try to come up yet. Your strength isn't there. Wiggle your way up. I don't care how you get back to the top. You can do a knees push-up if you wanted to, or you can worm it. This is the one chance you can do beached whale with no one judging you, because you're doing it right on the way down and you're building that strength, okay? So go down slowly on your toes. Let's say 5-6 seconds, controlled down to the bottom. If you can only do it for like 1 second, again, we need to go back to knee push-ups or an incline push-up so you can build up your strength better first. Guys, and once you have mastered the negative push-up progression, guess what? It's time for prime time. You can do real push-ups at this point. Yeah, you might only have 1 or 2, but that's okay because you know how, at this point, to get stronger, to get more push-ups, all right? One of the best ways, once you finally got your first push-up, which you're gonna do as long as you keep working on it, is, hey, I'm gonna get as many push-ups as I can, and then I follow up with negative. So let's say you only have 2 push-ups in the beginning. Once you get your first one, you're not gonna have a whole lot. So you get 2 or 3, and then finish with negatives till you get to a set of 10. So the next question, guys, is, okay, we know all these progressions. How often should we be doing this? How many reps should we be doing it? How much rest? Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's not a secret, but if you don't do it by, I guess, these general guidelines, your push-up isn't gonna materialize as quickly as you would like it to, okay? So whenever you're learning a new movement, you gotta spend time with it. You got to put in the time to get better at it. So I recommend doing push-ups 2 to 3 days a week. You can do them every other day if you want to work on it that way. When you're first learning it, you might not want to do it back to back because you're going to be sore. And that's your body saying, hey, don't work me out, I'm sore. Let me recover a little bit. So the next time we do this, I'm going to be stronger. All right. So 2 to 3 days a week. And that's for how many, that's for frequency. Now for volume, how many sets you want to be doing. I recommend 3 to 5 sets. It really depends on how much time you have, how much stamina you have, etc. Okay, the more you do this exercise, the more sets you'll be able to do, just because you build up your strength and your stamina. But 3 to 5 sets of how many reps? I would say around 10 reps. Doesn't have to be perfectly 10, all right? Especially when you move to a new progression, your rep volume is going to drop just because you're not strong enough. So build your way back up to 10 reps. If you can do 5 sets of 10, no problem at your progression. You should be moving quickly to the next progression. So if you have 5 sets of 10 at the countertop, incline push-up with, let's say, good form, you're confident, you don't even need that much rest, you need to be reducing that incline the next time you do it. Otherwise, you're stagnating and you're not going to get that push-up as soon as you'd like it. Last but not least, how much rest do you need? Well, it totally depends on the person, how much volume they're doing, etc. But 2 minutes rest should be plenty for you guys, all right? The more advanced you get and the more advanced the movement is, push-ups isn't that advanced in terms of movement complexity. It's more of just a strength movement, but I digress. We probably should be resting 1.5 to 2.5 minutes to make sure you're getting your sets of 10 in as you get your 5 sets of 10 or 3 to 5 sets of 10. Okay, so 2 minutes rest is probably generally good for everyone. One last topic, guys. How long is it going to take to get your first push-up? It could be a year. If you're starting off at 400 pounds, well, you could train all you want, but the number one thing you got to do is lose weight, all right? But if you're, let's say, a 150-pound male and you're at 10% body fat and you've never trained before, it might take you a week. So most of us are going to be somewhere outside of those range, those are kind of far extremes, all right? But the lighter you are, the easier it's going to be. The more experience you have, the easier it's going to be. But guess what? What can you train? Well, you train multiple times a week for this movement, and that will get you closer to where you need to be. And everyone's timeline's different, okay? So a 150-pound male is going to get their first push-up eons quicker than, let's say, a 300-pound female. But the most important thing you can do is to train to get better at this movement. If your goal is to get your first push-up, you can do it. I've seen 200-pound women be able to get several push-ups in a row. I've seen 300-pound men be able to do several push-ups, okay? So weight is a big factor, but it's not the number one factor. The number one factor, in my opinion, is how much are you training to get better at this movement, all right? So as long as you're practicing, you can guarantee that you will accomplish this task quicker than you might think. But that's it, guys. That is the push-up. I hope you guys start training towards it if you don't have your first push-up. For you more advanced athletes, yeah, I can post stuff for you later on down the road, but you probably don't need me a whole lot. My channel is really geared towards people who are looking to get in really good shape at home and maybe haven't had a whole lot of instruction or education on movements and fitness in their past, okay? But enjoy the video. Give me a like. Please comment if you have any questions on the push-up progressions. This certainly isn't the end-all be-all push-up video, but it should give a basic guide for you to get your first push-up. Peace.